Yes, indeed. The dark sign brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world. This is your fate.
What's up, gang, and welcome to the channel if you're new, and if you're not, then welcome back. If you've been here before, then this is just going to be a distraction from the day-to-day. I just need a break from reality, so I'm going to play through Dark Souls 1 Remastered until I get tired of it. So I'm starting with the Thief class because they come equipped with the Master Key, and I took as my gift the Old Witch's Ring, which means they're going to be saving Solaire. I'm just going to run through the game as normal. We'll cover some dialogues and whatnot, but in between here and there, just passing the time. So we wake up in our cell, we get our dungeon key, and we make our way through the Undead Asylum, the Northern Undead Asylum. I'm not gonna like delve deep into the lore and stuff, but I will let the NPCs talk, you know, let you hear what they've got to say. So this is going to be a 100% playthrough. Well, as close to 100% as I can get. So we come to our first obstacle, our first challenge in the game, and that's going to be this demon you see above us here. Of course, you can fight him right now, but I'm going to choose not to. You can get a reward for beating him down right now, but I wouldn't be able to use it anyway. Just going to cover the basics and go through here as normal. And if you've never played Dark Souls Remastered or Dark Souls at all, then I hope you find this enlightening and entertaining. So the Bandit's Knife, for those who don't know, isn't going to benefit a lot from smacking your opponent around. It takes its benefits from its crit damage and its bleed damage. Which means it benefits a lot from riposts and backstabs. Not really good against heavily armored foes, people who aren't susceptible to bleeding. We'll cover that later. But everything we cover from here and until maybe an hour from now is somewhat susceptible to bleeding.
Oh, you. You're no hollow. Hmm? Thank goodness. I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I, we're both undead. Hear me out, will you?
So this is the dude that dropped the body into our cell that had the key on it, and he was asking us for a favor, or just to hear him out, so...
Regrettably, I have failed in my mission. But perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying in my family. Thou who art undead art chosen. In thine exodus from the undead asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringeth the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know. And I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask. An undead favorite.
So he gives us the Estus flask. This is our primary source of healing, sort of like the Cerulean Tears and Elden Ring.
Oh, and this.
He gives the key to our freedom, or at least part of it anyway, yet again.
Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now, and thank you.
Alright, so this dude's gonna pass on here in just a little bit. He just did it just then. But we'll see him again later. Not much we can do for him now, except for just keep moving on. So when we got out the cell, we had no initiative, no drive. What are we going to do today? And this dude just painted it out for us. What we're going to do is make pilgrimage to Lordran and ring the bell of awakening. Alright. Oh, he almost got me. Let's see if this dude will drop anything. Probably not. Alright, so now we're gonna go fight this asylum demon real quick. Let me see if I can... Alright, let's see if this works. Get a little bit of bonus damage here. That's good. Alright, so now we just beat on him. So the best way to fight this guy, I mean, if you're good and you prefer Mortal Kombat, you can like go toe to toe with the fella and fight him like this in his face. The damage he does isn't super impressive, but it can be debilitating. But he gives us the Big Pilgrim's Key, which we can use here. This is going to allow us to leave the Undead Asylum. The other ones allowed us to get around in there. But now we're going to take off. But first to pick that up, Soul of a Lost Undead, sort of like a lost room. It gives you souls, the currency in this game. Let's move forward.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
So here we come to the hub of the game. If you're an Elden Ring player, this is the equivalency of the Round Table Hold. This is where you come to gather up, meet NPCs, exchange pleasantries and stuff like that. Let me think. You don't level your weapons here, but you can level your character and just talk to people. This is a safe haven of sorts. And this is our second NPC encounter. This is Crestfallen Warrior, and he gives us guidance into our quest here.
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess. Fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first. But there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the undead asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are, actually, 2 bells of awakening. One's up above in the undead church. The other is far, far below, in the ruins at the base of Blight Town. Ring them both, and something happened. Brilliant, right? Not much to go on, but I have a feeling that won't stop you. So, off you go. It is why you came, isn't it? To this accursed land of the undead?
So dude in the asylum told us that there was, well, he didn't specifically say there was one, but he said ring the bell of awakening, which indicates that he may not know the full legend. But this dude just told it that there's actually 2. So we're going to be going for both of them. Oh.
Ah, your face. You're practically hollow. But who knows? Going hollow could solve quite a bit.
So in this game, you don't actually have the humanoid look straight out the gate. Having the humanoid look in other games like Elden Ring is all cool and whatnot, but in this game, it opens you up to invasions, cults, and you can also do invasions, but you can also help others, you know?
What? Restoring your humanity? Well, there are a few ways to go about it. Collect it bit by bit from corpses. Or you can butter up a cleric and get yourself summoned. And the quickest way, although I'd never do it, is to kill a healthy undead and pillage its humanity. Coveting thy neighbor is only human, after all.
Humanity in this game, it's the closest you can get to a rune arc from Elden Ring. It gives you more power, so to speak, and I'll show you what that is later. In the top left, you'll notice I have 0-0, but the more humanity we gain, that number will increase. And so are some other details about our character.
What are you looking at? Don't try anything clever. You might regret it.
At this point, it's pretty easy to find runes and rune arcs in Elden Ring, so that's a done deal. But in this game, sometimes the humanity can be difficult to find. This dude tells us a couple of different ways to get it. So if you invade an NPC, somebody just kindled the bonfire I was resting at. That spooked me a little bit. But like I was saying, if you invade somebody and take out the lord of that world, which is the player, it rewards you with a humanity. Another way to do it is to run around slaying some of the enemies we saw at the Undead Asylum, and they'll drop humanity like that. Or you'll just soft absorb it, which means it automatically gets added to your count. Anyway.
What? You want to hear more? Oh, that's all we need. Another inquisitive soul. Well, listen carefully then. One of the bells is up above in the undead church, but the lift is broken. You'll have to climb the stairs up the ruins and access the undead burg through the waterway. The other bell is back down below the undead burg, within the plague-infested Blight Town. But I'd die again before I step foot in that cesspool.
Alright, so he gives us our locations to go. So we're going to start with the Undead Church, because I don't want to go to Blight Town right now. I don't think I'm very well equipped for it. Of course I can handle it, but it's a lot more troublesome right now. So,
Bloody hell, what is it now? You ask too many questions.
and finally, he'll say this when he's done talking to you.
What now? I'm not up for chatting. Leave me alone.
Alright, so now what we're going to do is run around this hub world and collect some of our items. So we get three free humanity right there. Run up this part of this broken, dilapidated temple-like structure. Fire bombs. They had like fire pots from Elden Ring. You can just throw them and they blow up on the enemy. And now here's this guy.
Hello there. I believe we are not acquainted. I am Petrus of Thurland. Have you business with us? If not, I prefer to keep a distance, if possible.
In this game, it's called the Undead. In Elden Ring, it's called the Tarnished. In this game, the Undead do not stick around, especially in this area that we're in, because most of the Undead are like the ones we saw at the Undead Asylum. They're hollow. They'll attack you. They don't want to talk. They just want to take, you know?
Hello there. I realize that I have requested that we retain our distance. But I also want you to know that it is not meant in ill will. Here, take this as a token of peace. No, go ahead. It's for you.
So he gives us a copper coin, which is pretty much useless because in this game the currency is soul, so this has no use to us here. Usually, the reason why he has it, or the item description says something along the lines of fond memories of the past is what keep us going. Let me have a look real quick. Those who dream of returning to the outside world are fond of carrying these around. So I guess it reminds him of home?
Oh my, you again. Oh, I know. How about this? I have to await my companions here anyway. So what if I were to teach you some miracles? Would that please you?
Miracles are sort of defensive magics like healing, force, and things like that.
Very well. Then first, a covenant with the gods.
Covenants acts like a crew, like you're part of a team, and it grants benefits outside of multiplayer and in multiplayer. We have just joined the Way of White Covenant, which boosts miracles in certain areas, and it limits invasions just a little bit.
Now let me share my miracles. Only their ultimate effectiveness will be determined by your efforts and your faith.
Alright, so what he means by that, there's a stat-based thing going on here. I'll show you that in a second. He teaches us how to shrug. And he sells basic miracles, and he sells these talismans. Talismans are the catalyst to cast miracles.
My companions are Milady and her young knights. She is young, but burdened by an undead mission. We are her defenses, to keep her from harm.
So the undead of Dark Souls are sent to Lordran on undead missions. I'm on a mission now, but my mission was given to me by someone else. But of course, they're given to you by someone else. But anyway, he said he and his compadres have an undead mission. But what is that undead mission that they are here for?
An undead mission? Regrettably, I cannot share that with you. But you are my pupil. Perhaps if you show your faith.
So you don't have to get this, but this dude just tells you what he's here for.
Very well. I can surely tell you, of all people, undead clerics are given a mission to seek kindling. Kindling is the art of feeding bonfires with humanity. Through kindling, we shall one day be granted magnificent powers.
We shall one day be granted magnificent powers. He doesn't go into detail what these powers are, but he says he's here to seek kindling.
Come again. The effectiveness of the teachings depend upon your faith.
So in the world of Dark Souls, we have humans, we have undead, and we have many other things. The undead are not really appreciated. They're not really liked in the human world. Because undead hold this idea of hollowness. Which means if they crack and go hollow, they'll attack anyone in sight. And when you kill an undead, it's not necessarily the end of the world for it, because they can just come back to life because they're what? Undead. And they're being sustained by, I guess, humanity or bonfires or something. Anyway, so undead are sent away on undead missions, so they're not anywhere near the human world. This is a means of getting rid of them, or they're locked away like we were, in an effort to keep us away from the humans. But they're being manipulated because he said they'd be granted magnificent powers, but he's not told what those powers are. But they give them such an impossible task that it should keep them busy and they don't have to worry about it. One of two things is going to happen. Either they fail the mission and they die, or they succeed in the mission and they don't. Or they crack and go hollow. So what that's going to do is keep them away from the human world, which is what they want. The cracked red eye orb. We talked about online play earlier. That's your means of invasion. We get a free talisman and a morning star. Morning star is another weapon that can cause bleed, but I don't think I can use it right now. Homeward bones. These aren't really in Elden Ring. They just act as a way to escape what's going on around you and warp to the last bonfire you rested at. And lastly, the Lloyd's Talisman. In online play and in-game, enemies can heal. A Lloyd's Talisman, if you strike them with it right, prevents healing in a certain area. Sort of like a numbing mist from Bloodborne, if you're familiar with that game. So this graveyard down here looks pretty calm and quiet, but once we go down there, things are still going to start to get nasty. So we're going to make the graveyard run, which means going to get the items from over there and over there. And try to do it without dying. I'm not worried about dying, but if it happens, it happens. That's just part of the game. Alright, let's go. These dudes hit pretty hard at this stage, and they do cause bleed damage, and there's a lot of them. You can fight them if you want to, but they're really hard to take out, and they don't really offer that much in the way of souls. I think it's 100 souls per kill, so it's not really worth it. They can be parried and backstabbed. Oh, they can be parried and backstabbed, but it's pretty much a waste of time. So they're still following me because the draw distance for these guys is pretty big. It means they gotta follow you for a while. And this game, some of them keep falling off, it would seem, which is fine by me. So I want to reset the enemy position because I'm not done with the gathering aspect of it. And you can reset a bonfire. As long as they're not really close to it, you should be fine. So that resets enemy position so they're no longer on me. Stamina in this game is always in use, regardless of if enemies are around or not. Unlike Elden Ring, where stamina is only really in use if you've been spotted or you're in some kind of peril. We can get one more dialogue real quick and then we'll start the game proper. So we come down to this bonfire keeper. She can make our Estus flash stronger, however she won't talk to us. Get out of that menu. This should give Crestfallen Warrior another set of words to speak.
Oh, Have you seen that terribly morose lass? The Fire Keeper. She's stuck keeping that bonfire lit. Sad, really. She's mute and bound to this forsaken place. They probably cut her tongue out back in her village, so that she'd never say any god's name in vain. How do these martyrs keep chugging along? I'd peter out in an instant.
Alright, so this is normally where I cut it, and I think I'm going to do that right now. I might play some Cyberpunk here in a minute, but in between videos, I'm not going to really do anything. When next we meet, I'm going to venture up into the into the Undead Burg, and we'll see how things go from there. So if this is your first time here, then welcome to the channel. I hope you find this enlightening, but if not, then thank you for coming back. And until we meet again, bye-bye.